this occurs first, that is 4 times. Then this occurs 3 units. Then this occurs. Then Kali occurs 1 unit. So this figure of dots is given as the time key. You will find this figure in the secret doctrine of Blavatsky. It is called the lotus of time. It is also called the navel of the great Lord. The story says that the Lord is lying on a big serpent. The serpent called eternity of time. The serpent is coiled in eternal coils. And the fellow, the Lord, is lying on it sleeping. And the serpent and the Lord are floating on an ocean called the ocean of existence. That is the pre-cosmic existence. That is before the egg is born. Then from his navel the lotus comes out. And from the lotus the creator comes out like a little fellow with 4 heads. This is the symbolism. So this is called the lotus. It is also called, this figure is in the Buddhistic symbolism, this figure is called the gem lotus. Lotus of gemstone. Gemstone called Mani in Sanskrit and Padma. Mani is gemstone, Padma is lotus. Mani Padma is a great Buddhistic mantra that contains all the clues of the time cycles. Buddha initiated his disciples. The first word of utterance, Om, comes out as Mani Padma, and then it ends in the form of Hum. That means the breath ends with H. Similarly, the whole creation starts from Om, expands in the form of the gemstone and the lotus. That is in this formula. And then comes to an end with the sound potency of Hum. So, among the Buddhists, this is one of the secret initiation. There are many people who meditate upon this mantra, but without knowing how to use it. If we meditate, the energies in us will be enormously stimulated and it will be dangerous. The vehicles go into danger. So, many cautions are given. Nobody should do it indiscriminately. There comes a time when everyone has to meditate this mantra. It is given by Buddha, but not at all a Buddhist mantra. Because remember that Buddha was not a Buddhist.
Wow.
Also remember Christ was not a Christian. These are universal truths which do not belong to any religion. Every religion can be benefited by it, but no religion can contain them. So, the total is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4,
Yes.
10 such units. So, this occurs first in time. It is called the golden age. The second one then occurs. It is called the silver age. The third one then occurs. It is called the copper age. The fourth one occurs in the last. It is called the iron age, which is called Kali Yuga. Now we are existing in Kali Yuga. 5,600 years passed. Still there is much Kali Yuga. But don't worry, there are sub-periods in it. At the end of each sub-period, there will be a big change and also a re-establishment of the ancient wisdom. We are very near to such a sub-period. So, the total put together comes to 10 times this number. That is the same figures with one more zero. This is called the total period. It is called the Great Age or Mahayuga. See, 71 such periods. It is called the span of one Manu. That is, one wave of humanity runs during one Manu's period. We have 14 Manus. So, when the 14 Manus are completed, it is called the day of the Creator. One day of the Creator. And 360 days of the Creator will be 1 year of the Creator. 100 years of the Creator is called the span of the Creator. But you have to add the nights also. You have added only days. So, if you add an equal number of years, you will get the full span of the Creator. This is called one full formula of the whole ritual of creation. Hence, this period is called Kalpa. Don't worry, you are having all these figures tabulated in this book. So now I understand that all of you have read this book. On page 39, you will have all these figures given and the footnotes. Yes, the secret doctrine also they are given. So, this is what is called the detail of the ritual. And the whole thing is summarized into a little ritual and it is enacted as a little drama. That is what we call the rituals in the Freemasonry, but they do not try to understand in Freemasonry. It has become only a formality and also it has become a facility to gather and drink. So the Freemasonic halls today are centers of the rituals of drinking and talking. Again there will be the next creator. From the same background, the next creator comes. The background is called the father, whereas the creator is called the son. So the four-faced creator, another fellow comes.
They're very holy.
I said fellow, you see?
Fellow, yes, that's okay. Because after all, we are in him. We can take that much of liberty. Yes. Yes. We'll come to that Purusha concept. Everything will be completely, totally destroyed from our point of view, but absorbed into subjectivity from the point of view of the background God. So, when we are taking a bath, the upper layer is destroyed from its point of view, but from your point of view it is made fresh. Similarly, on the background, everything is absorbed and again everything comes out in the same identical way just as it has come out in this creation. So it is like a wave coming from the ocean and going into the ocean. And then we will go to the third key. Yes, then it is the Vedic.
Show me, I will ask.
It is the Vedic grammar. No, the span of the Creator. No, that is called little kalpa or day. It's called great kalpa. No, it's not wrong. One day of Creator is called little kalpa. That is little ritual. It is only to make us just remember and understand. They formulate things. And then the grammar in the archaic style. All sounds are divided into vowels and consonants. Vowels are called energies. They are also called vital activities. Consonants are called elements of matter. So, vowels belong to the plane of energies. Consonants belong to the plane of matter, material plane. And every vowel has its short form, its long form and continuous form. That is, every energy in this creation has its starting and its alternation, that is acting and stopping, and the alternation forming into a continuity of application. That is how existence comes into creation. For example, there is inhalation with the help of a group of energies and exhalation with the group of another set of energies. So, this is the representation of the alternation of inhalation and exhalation. And then our span is a continuity of respiration. Everything in this creation comes into existence according to the formula of this grammar. For example, there is darkness and there is light. They begin to alternate and there is the span of the universe. We see how in magnetism there is the polarity of the opposites, polarity of the like poles and the continuity in the form of magnetism. Also in the electromagnetic phenomenon there is the alternation of currents. The current starts and it stops and it starts. There is what we call the electric current. The same thing occurs in the existence of everything in this creation. So this is called the pronunciation of the vowels. Short vowel, long vowel and very long continuation vowel. And vowels and consonants join together to form the utterance of sounds. So without a vowel you cannot utter consonants. If you write continuously the consonants, you can write them on a paper, but you cannot utter them. Consonants, but yet they have to pronounce only some vowels in the middle, otherwise they cannot pronounce it.
Yeah.
They may write like that, but they cannot pronounce it together. Yes, maximum 3 we can pronounce. Not exactly. We can say that there is no free flow of energies through matter. That is, there is much difficulty and blockage between the people of that language. That is, relationships will be very formal and very tough. They have many formalities to understand each other, and they cannot so very freely come together as others do. In one sense we can say they are more orthodox than other people. So there are difficulties in easy flow of thoughts among them. So this is something about the grammar of the Vedic stanzas. There is one class more about this, which tomorrow we will finish. So we were speaking about the grammar, important points about the grammar. The word is divided into 4 divisions in the creation that we have seen previously. According to it, the words are classified into 4 groups in the grammar. The first group are substantives, that is nouns, adjectives, numerals and pronouns put together. Numerals, they are these groups are called substantives. Second group is called verbs. The third groups are called conjunctions. For example, we use and, but, all these things. Also, next group, prepositions and postpositions. Prepositions are parts of little words used before words. Yes. For example, this is
Posizione.
preposition. Postpositions are
Follows.
little words used afterwards. They are there only in Sanskrit and one or two more languages. You do not have them in English and other languages. In Greek they are there. In ancient Hebrew they are there. I think in Latin there are some, according to some people say. I don't know if they are there in German or not. Relationship words. Yes, case endings. No, all case endings come under postposition. No, case endings English lo chivariki ravuga, ato ito vastayi. But every word has its characteristic case ending in Sanskrit. As I understand, in German also they are like that, case endings. And in Hebrew there are always case endings. So these case endings come under postpositions. Now we are concerned with them only when we are learning Sanskrit. Now we are concerned only up to that much to know the texture of the grammar, because it has to do with the esoteric aspect of the scriptures. These four correspond with the four stages of creation which we have discussed previously. We said that on the fourth stage the whole creation comes out. In us also, in the fourth stage, the word comes out. Therefore, the Creator is symbolically described as four-faced. And here also you will find the substantives as the fourth stage, because they complete the meaning. They will have self-sufficient meaning in them. Verbs represent action. Therefore, they are called creative energies. The conjunctions are like the divisions of time in creation. And the prepositions and postpositions are like the succession of events. So, like that we have four classes of vocabulary in the scriptures. Yes, four classes of vocabulary in the scripture. This is after the fourfold division of creation, where God is said to have expressed himself in the form of the fourfold word. His image is called the substantive. That is what we call the name and the shape of each thing in the universe. And the verb is called his flesh and blood, which we call the action taking place in the creation. It is also called the undercurrent, which we call time. So it is our own background existence. We cannot know it. We know it only in the form of our incidents. Our incidents are not time, but we cannot know time except through incidents. So this is how it is discussed in the scriptures. Now, all the substantives are divided into 7 cases. For example, the nominative case, the accusative case, the instrumental case. Like that there are 7 cases. Now let us not be bothered of the details, but remember that they are having, each substantive is having 7 cases. Yes, that decides the esoteric nature of the language of a nation. No, it speaks of the esoteric nature of the language. See, the more number of cases in a language, the more esoteric the language is in its nature. Till now, 7 is the maximum number of case endings. Only 2 or 3 world languages have 7 case endings, and the Sanskrit is the oldest among them. Each case has 3 numbers. Generally, in all languages, we have 2 numbers, the singular number and the plural. Here we have the singular number, the dual number, and the plural number. So, in the languages of the scriptures, you find the number indicating 1, the number indicating pairs of things like night and day, creation and dissolution, male and female, birth and death. Like that you will find, just as we find in the ancient Chinese and Japanese, the yin-yang principle, we find the same thing in the dual number in the scriptures. For all these things which are used in pairs, the dual number is used. And afterwards, for more than 2, it is the plural number. This is because the creation exists in one unit, two polarities and plurality. So we have 21 forms for each substantive. This has something symbolic and esoteric. You see, the creation comes first in 3